barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. So last night, DAZN and PBC went head to head, right? And we're just gonna talk about. I'm not gonna talk about the card. I'm gonna talk about the business of the cards, right? They were probably 90 miles apart from each other, and what I realized, the commission reported that I was real interested in this because DAZN says they have all this money and they're giving fighters all this money, right? And Eddie Hearn speaks so eloquently about it. So I said it's a perfect opportunity to do apples and apples, as I'm about to eat my apple at the end of this video. And I looked at the main event. Tank Davis made $1 million on his main event, right? Albert Machado made $200,000. That is a 5-to-1 difference on the same night in the same city, and they pulling from the same audience, right? Albert Machado, for lack of a better word, they said was better than Tank Davis. They said had a bigger upside than him, right? I believe the Puerto Rican kid looked spectacular, big, tall, rangy, good-looking kid. Still had promise and still has promise. One defeat doesn't define you. You can obviously come back, but I'm just speaking about it in this. I'm speaking of it in a box, all right? And they had an opportunity to pull from the same audience. I don't know what the DAZN's attendance was. I really don't know what PBC did last night on Showtime, but I would say 90% of the 85 to 90% of the arena was full. A bunch of celebrities were there. Meek Mills, Drake, Odell Beckham, Lil Wayne, Floyd Mayweather, of course. And it was very apparent. And you had Tank Davis ring entrance, which costs a lot of money. You understand? And we got to take all this into account. People say DAZN has all this money, but Tank Davis and Machado are pretty much parallel, right? They're both champions with the same belt, quote unquote. I'm just using this in the box, right? Before this fight, people wanted Machado to fight Tank Davis, right? Like, oh, they need to fight each other. Who's the, if I'm not mistaken, they're the real WBA champion. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. Feel free. But last night was a great example of where each of them is currently. PBC is a juggernaut, and DAZN is a lone star. You know what I mean? Like, it's just it's not comparable, you know, because, and let's take it a step further. Ishe Smith got paid $75,000 last night. Not even on, take this, really understand what I'm saying. Ishe Smith got paid $75,000, right? Joseph Diaz, who I consider a hell of a fighter, who I absolutely love. I love his story. I wish I can cover him. You understand? I would love the world to know who Joseph Diaz is. He only got paid $70,000 last night. Ishe Smith got paid $75,000, and Joseph Diaz and Ray Vargas, respectively, got paid $70,000 and $75,000, which is $5,000 left for Joseph Diaz and equal for Ray Vargas, who is a world champion at 122. Ishe Smith has 10 losses. I believe he's 29-10. Correct me if I'm wrong. 29-11 now. Somewhere in there. I can't remember exactly. But he was a blue-collar boxer with double-digit losses. You know? And but that tells you, because they went head-to-head, that absolutely tells you that DAZN doesn't have the money that Eddie Hearn speaks of. DAZN don't have the fan appeal that Eddie Hearn desires. PBC is here, and I'm just talking about it from a business perspective. You can't dispute facts. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. People gonna do articles and make videos and do what they have to do. But the fact of the matter is, it is not a comparable debate. You know what I mean? The fact is, it's not even a comparable debate. You understand? And I know you're gonna have my detractors saying, "Shut the hell up! I don't know what you're speaking of." Well, this was a great parallel to pull from. Both world champions, both young, exciting, blistering world champions that have performed well. Machado has performed well on HBO. Tank Davis has performed well on Showtime, and they had to pull from the same audience tonight. Had to pull from the same people. And you had to take everything into account. All things are equal, as equal as they quite possibly could be. You got Oscar promoting in Los Angeles, which is his home base, and you have Floyd Mayweather promoting in Los Angeles, which isn't his home base. So from a promoter's perspective, they're equal, in terms, quote unquote, in terms of namesake. Fighters on the main event, they're pretty much even, but now Tank Davis has definitely taken a step forward, and Machado, because he lost, has taken a step back. But it's no comparison, man. And you got to ask Eddie Hearn, show me the money. Show us the money. Machado got paid $200,000. And Tank Davis got paid $1 million. Part 2, Ishe Smith got paid more than everyone on the card except Machado last night. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Feel free to go to the commission and check the numbers. I was real interested and real curious. You guys know me. You guys know I'm a pretty absolute when it comes to numbers and how it makes sense. And it makes sense. You pay Machado $200,000, but then the next week you go and pay what's the kid's name? Anthony Joshua, $32 million. Doesn't add up. Doesn't add up at all. So at the end of the day, all things being considered equal in both these cards, last night proved that PBC is light years ahead of DAZN, and DAZN does not have the money that they lie and that they say that they echo and yell at the top of a mountain screaming that they do. They don't have it. And these are the stone cold facts. So at the end of the day, there you go. So anyways, man, hopefully you guys are having a good day. Just to give you an overview of the energy that was there last night, it was electric. Tank Davis stole the show. I believe Tank Davis is propelling the sport of boxing. He's going to bring in a lot of casual fans. He has that nostalgic kind of like, he has a presence about him, he has a humility about him that I'm sure a lot of you guys see. I think he can unify 130. And we like unifications. We like to see who's the best in a division. Tank Davis has a chance to prove he's the best at 130. Here's what I would like. People want to see Tank versus Lomachenko. That's cool. That's cool. That would be second on my list. I'll be real honest with you. That would be second on my list. And I'll do a separate video on that and explain this more depth in some time. My first bet would be I would if Gary Russell can unify at 126 and Tank Davis can unify at 130, I love that fight. I absolutely love that fight. I absolutely love that fight. You guys know how much I respect and love I have for Gary Russell. Gary Russell did something for me that only 10% men would do. And I honor him and I respect him. And you guys know how much I feel about Tank Davis' talent. And I want to be at the top of a mountain, pushing his brand forward. That's one of the few fights that I will honestly say I'll do a breakdown on it, but I'm not going to pick a winner in that fight. I'm simply not. I'm going to sit back and enjoy that fight, and I will be there. I would have loved for that fight to happen. They both walk in with 3 belts each. I don't think they can get the WBO belts. You know what I mean? I'm just being real with you guys. and then they walk in with the hardware and they fight. And I think this can happen within 18 months. I genuinely believe, and that makes the most sense in terms of money. I believe that is a by the time they get to that destination, that is a pay-per-view fight. Is Lomachenko Tank right now a pay-per-view fight? No, it's a high-grade Showtime fight. It is a very high-grade Showtime fight. Will it be sold out? Absolutely. Will tickets be expensive? Absolutely. Will it be one of the toughest tickets in boxing to get? Absolutely. But I think it's just before the pay-per-view. Right? And I think we're getting to a point between 130 and 135. Listen to me carefully. Where Tank will be the attraction. Tank will be the draw. And I think that's what Leonard Ellerbe and Floyd is kind of pushing towards. And right now, he has the potential to do that. I'm excited for this, man. This is... we're in a good space right now, and we have no other option but to enjoy the ride. So, but anyways, man, I just want to reach out and touch you guys and let you guys know this, but we're in a good state. So anyways, man, Barbershop Conversations, feel free to hit the subscribe button, and I'll talk to you guys real soon. Appreciate you guys. Peace.